bell, Mr. President.
That's President Trump on Monday ringing the opening bell from the Oval Office to launch the Trump accounts, the president's signature savings and investment program designed to give children an early stake in the stock market. Under the plan, the federal government will contribute $1,000 to eligible children and is encouraging contributions by parents, grandparents, employers, and others of up to $5,000 a year, with expectations that the money will grow over time and create a nest egg for the child. Parents control the account until the child is 18 years old, at which time ownership is transferred to the child. The fund to be invested in a low-cost index fund that tracks the broader market. So we looked back over the last 20 years at the S&P 500, and it has soared 770% over that 20-year period, meaning that that initial $1,000 from the government would be worth over 8 times that after a 20-year period if you are looking back the last 2 decades. Joining me now with more on the Trump accounts and the state of the U.S. economy is the CEO of the IRS and the Commissioner of the Social Security Administration, Frank Bisignano. Frank, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
It's great to be here with you, Maria.
And this Trump accounts idea, I think, is so special, getting children invested in the stock market to begin savings and investing plans right after birth. What can you tell us about the Trump accounts and your expectations?
Well, we have tremendous expectations, and we have just begun. The landmark legislation put in by President Trump last year has really afforded Americans over $300 billion in refunds. But on the Trump accounts, specifically, the Secretary of the Treasury has been maniacal about the opportunity here to really allow families to bring economics to their from birth. You know, we have 6 million accounts opened up already. $125 million have poured into it. We have tremendous philanthropists like Michael Dell and Ray Dalio and corporations all prepared. It's $1,000 upon birth, and the opportunity that this will afford for both financial literacy and financial security is unparalleled. So I think it's a multi-pronged opportunity. You'll see us beginning a lot more partnerships. You'll see distribution partners, and you'll see education explode over the next year on this. And I expect that every American child will be enrolled in a Trump account.
Yeah, and we should point out that actually these Trump accounts are available to anyone under the age of 18, but for children born during President Trump's term, they will get that initial $1,000 contribution from the government. But the idea of just setting up an account to get a person, a child, set to understand where that money is going and invested in and follow that is really a great idea. I've been a long proponent of financial literacy. But look, Frank, I want to get your take on what you have brought to the IRS and Social Security Administration. You've brought a business sense in terms of efficiency, in terms of growth. Obviously, your resume from your time at Shearson Lehman Brothers, American Express, Citigroup, J.P. Morgan, where you were the co-chief operating officer to become the chairman and CEO of First Data and Fiserv until you took your government role. Tell us how you brought all of your expertise in business to government and what has changed at the Social Security Administration.
Well, what I find is that people within the government really want to be successful, and they have to be set up to succeed. So we've set up processes and systems, as we have done, as I had learned back from Jamie and Sandy and others, and then the great work with Scott Nuttall and Henry Kravitz. But more importantly, with that, we made a digital-first effort. You know, people talked about Social Security, 74 million Americans receiving $1.6 trillion. The reality is we serve over 300 million Americans. We are a digital-first agency. We have more than 100 million digital users right now. And since this administration has come in, we've increased online transactions by 37%. only 4% of our transactions happen in field offices, a complete change from the past. And at IRS, you watched us deliver tax season that was unparalleled. No tax on tip, no tax on overtime, the senior deduction, the car loan deduction, all changes enacted after the 4th, but executed by great career professionals with guidance and oversight to do more than ever. $307 billion in refunds. That was a 20% dollar increase. The landmark legislation that also eliminated a $5 trillion tax increase. It's a technological business. It's a digital-first business serving consumers across America and small businesses.
Oh, well, you make great points on the big, beautiful bill, and we saw that play out in the first quarter, and we're about to see it play out again in the second quarter with very strong earnings, the backdrop to this incredible rally in stocks and a strong economy, because all of those tax code changes that businesses are taking advantage of, no doubt about it. But look, Frank, we all know that Social Security is on its way to becoming insolvent. This is a major headline we talk about all the time. Maya McGinnis at the Committee for a Responsible Budget says that Social Security will go insolvent in the fourth quarter of 2032. That's only a couple of 6 years away. What are you doing to mitigate the losses?
Well, in the 90th anniversary, I had the fortune to be with the president in the Oval Office, and we reaffirmed our protect and preserve. We have done a tremendous job in changing the operations and the opportunities at Social Security. That's a platform to grow off of. What we did in the protect and preserve, eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse, tens of billions of dollars. We created for the first time ever the reconciliation of the Social Security database where the records are housed. And so we feel very, very strong that we're going to give the country the opportunity to be able to continue Social Security in a manner it always has with this great president and his leadership on protect and preserve.
Well, I mean, in terms of the Trump accounts, you know, that's one way to teach people about debt and deficits and long-term financial strength. Do the Trump accounts survive the Trump administration post-period? Is this law? I mean, do we know that these accounts survive post-President Trump?
Well, I believe what we're going to see over the next 4 years would cause everybody to understand why they're so darn important. And this administration has done an unbelievable job at every level. I work closely with the Treasury Secretary. He's completely committed to everything that has to be done here. And the president has created a landmark opportunity for Americans. Never seen before.
Frank, before you go, real quick, because Social Security was designed to provide protection against the risk of poverty in old age, but the wealthiest couples can now collect, what, $100,000 a year in benefits, more than the maximum benefit in other countries, and 5 times what's needed to keep a couple out of poverty, according to the Committee for a Responsible Budget. Has there been discussion about changing that based on a person's wealth and needs in terms of Social Security in order to help the insolvency issue?
Yeah. Well, we've been helping the insolvency issue largely and continue to, and it will make a dramatic difference, is through the ability to have a secure set of information in the Social Security database, which was the first time ever reconciled, a feat never done before, to be able to get our payments at a rate that's appropriate, to eliminate billions of dollars of fraud, waste, and abuse. And that's a platform to continue year and year that'll change the outcomes.
Frank, it's great to have you this morning. We'll be watching. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.